My first science fair project, the Great Volcano Experiment. When Mrs. Thompson announced that our class would be participating in the school science fair, I was both excited and nervous. I had always loved science, but I had never done a big project like this before. We had 3 weeks to come up with an idea, conduct our experiments, and create our displays. It seemed like a lot of work, but I was determined to do my best. After brainstorming for days and flipping through countless science books, I finally decided on my project. Building a model volcano and studying different chemical reactions to create eruptions. I thought it would be cool to see which combination of household materials would create the most impressive lava flow. The first step was to build the volcano itself. My dad helped me create a base out of plywood, and then we used chicken wire to form the cone shape. We covered it with layers of papier-mâché, using strips of newspaper dipped in a flour and water mixture. It took several days to build up the layers and let them dry completely. Finally, I painted the volcano to look realistic, with brown and gray rocks and a dusting of snow on top made from white paint. Next came the fun part, experimenting with different eruption mixtures. I set up a chart to record my observations for each combination. My first attempt used baking soda and vinegar, the classic combination. It fizzed impressively, creating a foamy white lavas that flowed down the sides of my volcano. For my second try, I added red food coloring to make it look more like real lava. This looked much better, but I wanted to see if I could make the eruption more dramatic. I tried adding dish soap to the mixture, which created bigger, longer-lasting bubbles. It was definitely more exciting to watch. My third experiment used a different chemical reaction altogether. With my mom's supervision, I carefully mixed a small amount of potassium iodide solution with hydrogen peroxide and dish soap. This created a foamy elephant toothpaste eruption that was bigger and more impressive than anything I had seen so far. The foam kept expanding and flowing down the volcano's sides, looking like a giant's toothpaste exploding everywhere. As the science fair approached, I worked on my display board. I created charts showing the results of my different experiments, including the height of each eruption and how long it lasted. I also included safety information, because I had learned that real scientists always prioritize safety in their experiments. The night before the fair, I did a final test run of each eruption to make sure everything worked perfectly. My little sister watched in amazement, begging me to make the volcano erupt just one more time. By the end of the evening, our kitchen looked like a disaster zone, but my project was ready to go. On the day of the science fair, I arrived at school early to set up my display. The gym was buzzing with excitement as students arranged their projects on long tables. I saw all kinds of interesting experiments, from growing crystals to testing the power of solar panels. I felt a mix of nervousness and pride as I placed my volcano in the center of my table. As the judges made their rounds, I explained my project to them, demonstrating each type of eruption. I was surprised at how easily the words flowed as I talked about my experiments and what I had learned. The judges asked questions about why I chose certain materials and what I might do differently next time. I realized that I had learned so much more than just how to make a cool volcano eruption. I had learned about the scientific method, chemical reactions, and how to present my findings. When it was time for the awards ceremony, I sat nervously with my classmates. The principal announced winners in different categories, and I clapped excitedly for my friends who received recognition. Then, to my amazement, I heard my name called for the Most Interactive Display Award. I walked up to receive my certificate, grinning from ear to ear. As I looked at my certificate later that day, I felt a sense of accomplishment that I had never experienced before. My volcano project had been challenging, messy, and sometimes frustrating, but it had also been incredibly fun and rewarding. I realized that science wasn't just about memorizing facts from a textbook. It was about asking questions, trying new things, and learning from both successes and failures. That night at dinner, as I recounted every detail of the science fair to my family, I knew one thing for certain: this wouldn't be my last science project. I was already thinking about what I could explore next year, my mind buzzing with possibilities. The science fair had ignited a spark of curiosity in me, and I couldn't wait to see where it would lead.